February meeting tonight. With us is John Bailey, Dave Hardy, myself, David Eager, and our clerk treasurer, Sandra Clark, who is recording tonight's session. And we'll be hearing from who did I say? Clark. Sandra Thompson. We're clerk cover. Sorry.
I think Clark maybe.
I'm tired.
Yeah, there you go.
Alright, so anyway, we'll be hearing from our, the police department's not here tonight.
He said he'd be a little bit late, Gary. He thought.
Okay, he did, okay, he called me earlier about an incident, so. So Jason, we'll go on to you at the street department.
Well, get the things off now, right? We pushed a lot of snow the last couple of weeks, or week and a half, or however long it's been. As part of that, I know I asked you guys about having Riley haul snow away from the square and everything. In 2 days, we hauled 22 tri-axle loads and 23 single axle dump truck loads of snow, mostly from the square.
Wow.
That was just what was built up in the parking areas that was causing people to park out in the traffic lanes. And we did haul a little bit of snow from like down here at the intersection of Mill and Seminary, where that got pushed up and was a traffic hazard being able to see, and a couple places down by the school. With that, we've done a lot of repairs to plow equipment with the temperatures and the amount of snow we've had, part of which dump truck was on fire again. This makes for, I'm gonna guess, the 10th time that truck's been on fire when we were using it for a leaf, to pull the leaf machine. Transmission gets hot, starts spewing transmission fluid on the exhaust, and luckily there was a resident outside that told Jared that it was on fire underneath. He couldn't, of course, in the cab, he couldn't see it. But along with that transmission getting hot, I talked to Norm, works for Bill Babcock. He said, you're plain and simple gonna have to have that transmission at least rebuilt, if not replaced. But the fix for it is to add a auxiliary transmission cooler with a cooling fan, and it's gonna be pricey to, he said that transmission's not cheap by any means, but even for a transmission, it's not cheap. Did get a little bit of good news from Terry Jackson, our AMA director. They're wanting to know approximate totals of money, including repairs that we've spent with this snow removal and everything. They're trying, with the governor declaring the state of emergency or whatever it was he did, they're trying to get FEMA funding to reimburse. I gotta have that information to him tomorrow. And I did also get another little bit of good news. I got a phone call from Ed Michaels today after the commissioners meeting. He spoke to Nate Abrams after the meeting about the issues we had with all the snow and everything. He said we run into that situation again, get a hold of Nate, and they'll do their best to send a county truck to haul snow for us. There again, as long as we have a place to dump it, which we do. So hopefully in the future, we won't incur that expense of having the snow hauled off.
Right. Just to clarify the record, what you called us, I think, on Thursday, and you had a plan set in motion that what you thought would help out the courthouse with the removal of snow, and then, so this was at your request about coming in on Saturday and working, right? And whatever it took to get the.
Yeah, whatever it took. I mean,
Okay.
we had to get the snow gone. I mean, that was, people were parking like I said, in the road, if there's gonna be a traffic incident of some type. We have a dog again that we've had since January 12th. In
the
kennel.
kennel.
Caught him down by the park. Humane societies, we don't have room. I mean, I posted it on Facebook, on the street sanitation page, and people have shared it, but it's February 3rd. It's been there, like I said, since January 12th.
Okay, I thought the dog was gone. Got someone cleaned him or something.
We did get our pump reinstalled, the new pump installed at the lift station down at the trailer court. That's up and running. Houdini Services has started doing the retrofit for the lift stations, but this snow has kind of got him at a standstill of doing work right now, so when the weather cooperates a little bit more, he'll finish that up.
When they finish, Jason, then that will eliminate some overtime that we
Yes.
accumulate on Saturday, Sunday.
Yes. And I just got this out of my mailbox a little bit ago. I'm assuming, Gary, you got a copy of this from a engineering firm about some surveying about a paving project through town, Washington Street,
On the hot, yeah.
on the highway from the Richland Creek Bridge to the west end of town.
Yeah.
Um,
I actually went out and talked to those guys the other day, but they didn't know anything, but
I'm gonna
trying to.
I'm gonna call this manager for it and see if they've got anything included as far as storm drainage, because I think, one, they need to add a storm drain on the northeast corner of the courthouse square to catch the water that runs down 157. There's one on the north side of the road, but I think one needs to be added at the inside of the courthouse square to help collect some of that water, keep it from running as far down Washington Street as it does. And then also, if they're gonna address any of the other storm drainage along the road. And we'll call that good for everything for now.
Okay.
I'd just like to thank you and your staff for your snow removal efforts. I know you were out early when it began on Sunday, or started moving snow. And you were out early and often, and, I know I appreciate it, and the community appreciates it. Did a great job.
I spent today trying to open up Franklin Street because where so many people park on both sides of the road. I've still gotta do
Oh, yeah, yeah.
between Spring Street and Mechanic Street. I've not been able to get there. We had a flat on the backhoe this afternoon, we got a temporary tire on it to be able to get it back to the shop. Tiemann's didn't have a tire in stock, but he'll have it tomorrow, but that'd be just more snow to load up and move off.
One suggestion we ought to think about, if we got a snow predicted, most of the time it's not, whatever, 12 or 14 inches, it's 2, 3, or 4. But you might put on your website, and I know some people can't move off the street because that's their only parking available, but if they could possibly move
Kenny-
off the street.
Kenny
or-
had that posted this time.
And we ought to continue to do it, because I know it's a pain for you guys moving it, then it's a pain for those individuals when they gotta try to get back in their vehicle. And I know some people don't have another choice, but
Yeah,
lots of us do, and they can move off the road for a day.
Yeah, and to the residents who did move off the road, I greatly appreciate that, because that makes it a whole lot easier. And I will say, there may be some places we got into a yard or something like that, with the snowplow. But with 14 inches of snow, it was awfully hard to tell where.
The lines are blurred a little bit.
Yeah,
Hard to see what you can't see.
yeah. And if we got into your yard, I apologize. We were doing the best we could do.
It'll work out.
Great job.
Well done. Alright, Randy, anything for us?
We had 6 EMA runs, 1 motor assist, 3 fire runs. We're looking into a new dispatch system. It's IM responding. I'll get you guys information on it as soon as I can get a copy. They come and done flow test on our air packs and stuff, all of them passed. That's it, as of right now. But the new dispatch system, it's a little pricier than what we're paying now, but not everybody's getting the messages or the calls, and it's still cheaper than trying to buy everybody radios or pagers and things. So as soon as I get the paperwork copied off, I'll drop it off up at the office and you guys can look at it. And the Richland chief approached her trustee today and she was all for it to go and things, but she knows what kind of trouble we've been having. Half of them don't get the dispatch and stuff, and 9 times out of 10 you can't hear it. It's coming from the eastern part of the county. So when you get down in here, it gets staticky and can't make it out. And then, like I said, half of the members ain't getting it on both departments really. So they rely on the radio traffic, so that's what we're working on, and that's all that's going on right now.
Ryan's here. Police department, Ryan, what you got?
For the month of January, we had 145 calls for service. Kenny couldn't be here tonight. He did want me to mention that the golf cart permits for 2026 are in, so people can start purchasing those at the town hall there. That's all I got.
What are the prices of those?
I believe it's gonna be the same, $25.
Okay.
I don't think that's increased.
Okay. Alright. Thank you. Alright, Sarah?
Hi, I wanted to introduce Brianna Brewer. She's this season's pool manager, so she's here and she'll attend the council meetings when she's available. The pool board met recently, and the one thing that we wanted to bring up, just to try and tackle it before the season opens, is the pay online option that we have. I think we just really need to do some updating. We're currently using a system called pay.gov, and we've really struggled with that. I think part of it is that, and a big part of it is also the Wi-Fi, and it's just continually an issue trying to serve our customers. You know, we want to be able to offer that option to them as it's 2026, and you know, most people these days don't have cash on hand. And so we, you know, want to offer that. I think it's really important to do so, but then when it doesn't work, it's just frustrating and that creates a line, and, you know, I would hate for anyone to get frustrated and not come because we don't have that option. So we need some solutions. I'm not sure what they are or what they could be. Last year we added a second Wi-Fi box for the concession stand, but that didn't really help. I'm not sure if it's just not a strong enough signal or what the issue is, but it's terrible. And
Is
We
your
need to
Wi-Fi
do
run
something.
off AT&T internet, or is it run off a cell tower?
I mean, Sandra has provided us with those boxes from Verizon.
So, cause I will say, cell signal up there is not the greatest in the world, because a lot of times like we're in the pump house working
Yeah,
and you have zero service.
right,
You
right.
have to step outside.
But
You
with
get enough service
those,
that a text message, you'll hear the noise, or a phone call, you'll get a missed call come up, you have to step
Yeah.
outside,
yeah,
and you
it's,
still only
it's
got
really,
maybe
really
one
awful,
bar.
but with those Verizon Wi-Fi boxes, whatever the term is, you know, we should be able to function, and we're not able to, you know, at 100%, so. Like I said, I don't know what the solution is, I don't know what the options are, but we would like for everybody to work together and come up with something new and different so that we can be, you know, running at 100% when May rolls around.
With that being said, we used to use the MiFi, in our cars, we use Cradle Point now, and we barely lose connection, and that's through Verizon. So, and when I'm at my house, in the driveway, it works fine, I live right by a pool, so.
And it's called what?
Cradle Point, it's just a heavier, I'm not an IT guy, but I think it's just a beefier Wi-Fi, mobile system, you can plug it in.
Cradle Point?
Cradle Point.
Maybe that's something we need to look into.
Yeah, I'd get with Kenny on that, he ordered those,
Okay.
so. And I have both AT&T for my personal and then Verizon for work, and it seems like Verizon works better over that area.
I agree with that with my own phone, but.
I would be good for that and address that.
We ought to be able to.
Better
Right
solution. Alright. Welcome aboard. You, although you've been there
Yes,
before,
thank
but
you.
this is a
Yeah.
new position, so. Alright, Brenda.
We got a couple of things. First one is, I mentioned, report to you guys, the tree by the gazebo. I'd really like, it's the one that's by the stairs. I'd like to see it get cut down before it falls on the gazebo, because a lot of big limbs are falling off of it that are rotted. And I didn't know if you would want me, or first off, if you approve it, and then if you want me or Jason to see about getting someone in there before the ground thaws out. Be better to get them out in there while it's frozen, after the snow's gone.
I don't know if you care if you want to, or if you want to check on, or see.
Which way do you wanna do it, Jason?
Right now, you call, I've got,
I figured that, but I give you the option. There's usually two of them, I think's the best, Kramer and can't get the other kid's name, Lone Tree. Those two have been the best. And my second thing is, this is something I brought up, last year. I went to a, grant writing class yesterday, and, I came away from it with an idea. I have applied for 2 grants for the Pettit signs, and both of them were turned down. The county tourism committee group, it was over their budget. And then I went to RNC, well, food pantries and things like that went out over this, which I understand that. So, because of the class I took yesterday, I had another idea, but I wanted to get your guys' approval before I pursue it. I thought about trying to see about, I want to do it because of the memory of Sophie, but I also think I'll be a great focal point for the park. And I wanted to see about doing in-kind donations, like IMI for the concrete footer, Jones and Son for the concrete blocks. I think I've got enough bricks for my house to do the brickwork. The only part you'd have to pay for would be the metal letters, you know. And then I might go to Farmers and Mechanics, see if they might sponsor it. I wanted to do an approach like that. I wanted your approval before I would start on something like that. What do you think?
I don't know if you'd really need our approval just to check into it and see what, if they would give you something for it, and then come back.
Okay, well, I didn't know if you would care if I go out and be asking, you know, about it, if they would do it or not.
It's just like kinda getting an estimate, you know, it's, that's what I look at it as.
How tall is that gonna set, Brenda?
Oh, I didn't bring it.
It's gonna be on the,
What, 12 or 14?
Letters are 30 inches tall.
30.
Yeah, it's gonna be as tall as the fence we have there. Yeah, we wanted to have the same height,
So 6 foot.
yeah.
Can I say something? Have you heard of a program called, placemaking with Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority?
No,
They have a program, it's called Creating Places,
okay,
and it's kind of a matching thing, like you were talking about, getting donations and things, and they will match you.
I think that program has been suspended.
Is it really?
Yeah.
that's the
Okay.
other problem I'm running into, a lot of grants and
I
things are
haven't-
going
no.
away.
That, yeah, okay,
I mean, a lot of them are going away, so that's why I was thinking about going this route.
well, shoot,
Great idea. If it was-
yeah,
But last night, we had an application in earlier in the summer, late
Okay.
summer last year, and that's when they suspended the program and
darn.
removed us from it.
Yeah, see, I'm running into that, so that's why, and I thought,
Have you tried the Community Foundation?
I think behind the fence or above the fence.
Maybe.
About center way, isn't it?
center of the park fence, under that security light, it'd be about dead center, because we've stepped it off and, looked where we would put it and everything. It'll be a great focal point, and then on the backside, you remember, we're gonna put a plaque, it will be 2 plaques now. If I can get people to donate, we'll say, if this is donated, that, by whoever donates. And then another plaque will be with information about Bloomfield history and, things of noted, important facts of Bloomfield, and that makes it educational also.
We need to put a QR card or QR code right in the middle of it or something with all the
That's
information.
true too, very good, thank you, I hadn't thought about that part.
All right.
Technology. So anyway, that's, so if you're okay with it, I'll see what I can drum up, and then you did mention others.
Well, and, the Community Foundation, if you've never tried that one.
It's just called Community Foundation? Okay.
We have a Green County.
There's
Community
Green County Foundation.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I know them, and, I'll try that too.
Are we closer to finding the date of the gazebo?
And that's, that is, after I get this done, that's gonna be my next thing, because I'm not forgetting it, because it needs to be done, or it's gonna fall. So, no, holidays and me getting sick has slowed me down. But, I hope to embed, honestly, to go there this month and check. I've talked to Bob Jackson to get dates and things, so. That's all.
I kinda skipped the approval for the minutes, claim dockets and utility adjustments, so I guess we can hit that now.
I would recommend approval of the minutes and the claim docket and utility adjustment as has been prepared.
I'll second.
Okay, Joan, made a motion to approve the minutes, claim dockets and utility adjustments. Dave seconded, so, the discussion on it, I'll approve, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No approval, okay, 0. Passes. All right, on to new business now, so Jenny's with us tonight, Dear Wester for SIBC.
so, I have, an amendment to the contract with Bailey Property Inspections for the housing rehabilitation project. Our program is able to do one more house, so we'll be able to do 19 homes. I actually just went to the house tonight before coming here, to take, their application, so we needed to amend his contract since it was only for 18 homes. And so it is amending it for 19 houses for initial inspection at $250, 19 homes with, specifications written at $100, and then a final inspection for 19 homes at $150. So, his previous contract was for $9,000, this will increase it to $9,500, $500 worth of expenses for that 19th house. Also, we did not have in our contract, previously if there was any, a per hour charge needed if he needed to go out and make an inspection or do anything while the homes are being worked on, and that is $135 an hour if it's needed. So, it's an amendment tonight to increase his contract by $9,500. We still have enough monies to pay for that, and the reason why we have, money available is some of the houses didn't take, quite everything, and we were still able to give a lot of homes additional monies. The other thing is your radon services. Those were, radon services for, inspection at 18 homes, and then also 18 homes to have a clearance test, and you had 9 homes with radon. So that money can go back into the rehab as well. So, may not get as much as, what the max was when we started out, but it's enough to hopefully get something done on the house. And it needs, Gary and Saunders' signature on there, if you're all good with it.
And that was an increase of $500.
$500 for inspection.
I'll make a motion to approve the new contract.
Second. Alright, Dave made a motion, John seconded it, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None, so 3-0 passes for that.
And then I will email it to Mr. Bailey tomorrow, and then when I get it back, Sandra, I'll email you a fully executed one.
I think some of the houses have been stuck.
Yes, and I will give you an update as well on that. So, as it is right now, we have 18 houses, we've got 2 of them fully completed. 3, another 3 are partially. One has a roof to be completed, so we'll be doing that at a later time whenever the weather permits. And that's with Kenny Mendenhall. We have another house that needs a ramp. Again, wait until the weather's better, and that was with Mr. Mendenhall as well. And then the other one has radon to be completed, and that one is with Mr. Mendenhall as well. So then that leaves 13 homes. Brock Anderson has 4 houses to complete. All American General Contracting has 4, and Mr. Mendenhall will have 5. At this point, I don't anticipate that there be a problem in getting the grant finished by June 30th, but adding that 19th house we might need to extend it maybe by a month or 2, just depending on how quickly I can get everything back and everything. So, yeah, they're almost done in the other community, over in Mitchell, so then they're starting to make their way down here.
Okay. Alright, thank you.
That's all I have. And if I think of anything, I'll let you know, or I'll let Sandra know and she can get in touch with you. Okay?
Appreciate it.
All right, okay.
Alright.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Have a
Okay,
good night.
have a good evening. Thank you.
John, you're up. John Craig.
Morning, gentlemen. John Craig from Midwestern Engineers. I told you last time we were here, Midwestern's in the process of transition. We're rebranding as CHA is our new name. That's going very well. So you'll see our Midwestern name go away in the spring of this year. But right now, we're still known by the name we've had since 1959. Tonight, we're opening bids on the Community Crossings project that was applied for back in October, awarded in December. We put it out for bid. You had 4 plan holders, all 4, it looks like, have returned bids tonight. And you have in front of you a bid tab to follow along with. Just to summarize the project, and you may want to write this number at the top of your page there. Engineer's estimate on the project was $437,145. $437,145. The project consists of paving on 3 different streets. For Judson Street, which is pretty well the entirety of Judson Street, if I remember right, Jason, and then 2 different sections on Jefferson Street. And the only reason it's 2 sections is because last year we did a street through the middle, so it starts and stops on each side of Mechanical Street. And then also over on, the east side of town, Lester Street is on this application. So, the first bid we have this evening is for, this is from All Star Pay. All-Star Paving, they do have the Form 96. The bid bond is in place. And there were no addendums on this project. Okay, so, if I can just stick this here. And everything pretty well looks to be in order. So, the total of their bid is, looks good. Total base bid is $394,876.65. Read that back, just the digits, it's 394,876.65. The next submittal is from E&B Paving. Okay, 490, the bid form is in place. And sure they have their bid bond in place. Sanders making me nervous with the. There we go. Yes, bid bond's in place. The total base bid is $445,690.50. $445,690.50. Okay, the next bid is from Flynn and Sons. One day I didn't bring my pocket. Oh, they're all ugly now, Jason. I'll be fine.
That seems pretty good.
All right. We're going to go see the Form. Form 96 is present. I see the bid bond. We got a bid bond there. So the total price on the Flynn and Sons estimate is $417,350.65. That's $417,350.65. last one will be Milestone. Milestone Contractors LP. We've got our Form 96 in place. Bid bond is in place. And our total bid is $438,800 and no cents. 438,800. Council, at this time, we're in good shape on our timeline. However, we would recommend, if you remember last time, we were pretty rushed on getting these done and approved. This year, we had our bids ready much sooner, so that's a good thing. And, but they also gave us a month less time frame to get this submitted. Previously, we've had a 4-month window. This year, we've only had a 3-month window with the changes in the CCMG program. So our recommendation tonight is that you award the bid based on the engineer's recommendation. And what we will do is take this back to the office. We'll go through them. We'll make sure that all the totals are correct, all the math adds up, and that they're all in proper form. And that you would make your motion tonight, we would suggest, is that you award the bid based on the engineer's recommendation to the lowest responsible bidder, and that you would give Gary, you're still president, correct? Mm-hmm. That you would give Gary the authority to sign the contract documents to submit back to NDOT. By all appearances, it looks like All-Star is your low bidder, but we do need to verify that to make sure that all is in order.
Okay. So let me get a motion, then.
That is helpful.
I would make a motion that once the contracts have been reviewed by Midwest and they report back to us, that we would accept the lowest bid with the the most responsibility, and we would authorize you as president to sign on that board behalf.
That's a good motion.
Second.
All right, John made a motion for this, Dave seconded, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 3-0. So,
I know you've used All-Star before, it's been a few years. I think they did a good job for you guys before, but if you have any concerns, you need to let me know, and I'll pass those on to the engineer as he does his review.
Okay. Question, Jason, did you go around with the folks when they were looking at the?
I was around with Midwest.
Yes.
I did not, these contractors, none of them contacted me to go look at anything with them. I went with Midwest when the initial engineer's estimate was done.
Okay, and I guess the reason I'm asking is the additional costs we incurred with our last project. I guess I would hope we don't.
I think we're in a better place than we were with the last one, not to speak for Jason. Last time there were 2 factors. There was extra work requested by the town because they were here and mobilized, and it made sense to catch up with some areas that were immediately adjacent to what was specified. But there was also an issue with some sidewalk work, because keep in mind, we do general, we want to say we save you dollars on this extensively by not doing full engineered plans. We prepare specs. These aren't drawings like what you would have on a detailed sewer project or something along those lines. One time up by the school, we had to get some drawings on some stormwater issues that were very particular, but we were able to do that in partnership with the school. So these are general specifications, and the language in the contract, unfortunately, without us sending a survey crew out here to shoot in all the ramps and all the ADA requirements to make those ramps to absolutely, to what an engineered standard would be, we ran into a situation where the ramps had to go back significantly farther to hit, the correct slopes for ADA. So we definitely tried to take that into account this time, and we put more dollars into the estimate for the ramps, to make sure that we had wiggle room there in case we ran into that. So,
One of those definitely being at the intersection of Jefferson and South, cause what was, gonna have to go back like 16, 18 feet in order to get the slope correct.
Yeah.
And additional.
is that where that retaining wall is?
Yeah, that is, and additional money's gonna be there because there's a retaining wall that sits on the sidewalk that will have to be redone as part of doing the sidewalk. They're Davy and Beth Ashes.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I ask is I know one of the streets is Jefferson, and there are several cross streets that will have to
Yeah,
have new ramp, or have ramps.
And I don't know, in the future too, we probably need to look at, see what is gonna happen with that work that the 231 is gonna do with our ramps and stuff too. I don't know how.
I would think that with that being an NDOT project
It will be.
and our sidewalks up against an NDOT project, that NDOT will address all of those ramps.
Usually that happens.
NDOT put them in.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that NDOT will address all those if there's any changes that will need to be
I don't
made.
think so.
We won't, the town won't have to address that.
Okay.
There was some concern, I think back previously when we were talking about what streets, on Jensen Street where the state owns where that igloo is and the property there. Is there do we have confirmation where the state portion of that street ends and the town responsibility begins?
You mean the apron off the highway?
Yes.
It's standard 20 feet that, the state.
Did they account for that in all drawings we had that one time for that? The road portion that's states versus town?
Yeah,
Was that included in
on
it?
the one street on Jensen Street that the state, I think, owns for, I guess.
I don't-
The width of the road.
Well, just the entire, portion of the road there.
So, I think I know what you're talking about. If you remember, Jason, on Judson Street, where it approaches 231, there is a section of Judson Street there that did not show in your street inventory. We did put extra quantity of asphalt
For that.
in the bid, to be able to do what we can in partnership there to make sure that gets done all the way out
Yeah,
to the highway.
Okay. Well, I just didn't wanna have a similar type issue come up, you know, we pave it and then it ends up being the state property and we weren't supposed to do it. And, so
Right.
if we're covered.
So, well, one thing to note on that, and Jason, I believe we dropped off some maps for you guys to go over. One of the things we would like to do for you this year is to true that up. So you've got several streets in town that are not currently on your NDOT inventory, that you believe that you own, and I'm sure you do. There's one out by the pool. I remember last year we tried to apply for some dollars on one of the streets out by the pool that got kicked out of the application because it's not in your inventory. And so there's nuances like that around the community that just over the years, for some reason or other, it's been missed. But it's more important than ever that we get those in the inventory because of the new road funding formula. The changes to the Community Crossings Grant Program, now, does Greene County have a wheel tax currently? Yeah, so you're getting right now you're getting a distribution from, the BMV receipts that come to you. So with the new, dollars, for the communities that have adopted the wheel tax, you get enhanced community crossings money directly to you each year that you don't have to compete for. That begins next calendar year in 2027, I believe, because communities have through 2026 to adopt the wheel tax to be part of that. So if you already have it, that's great. But that new distribution formula is based off of your centerline miles. So you want to make sure you get credit, it's based off your lane miles. You want to make sure that you're getting every dollar that's due you. And there's a process, so we've given Jason maps to review, to look for those areas. And it's a pretty simple process to get those done. What happens is you would, once you've identified those areas, and I don't know if you've talked to Blake anymore about those, but once you've identified those areas, NDOT puts it on you, which you would put on us, to create a GIS file, a CAD drawing of the center lines of those lanes to submit up to them. Because they just will take that file and upload it into their master GIS system for the state. And that's how they calculate your number of miles. But there is an online form that is filled out, and then there will be an ordinance that you need to pass to, you can actually go back and find the history on each one of those streets where it was originally adopted into the town's inventory. But it's much easier just to adopt a cleanup ordinance that fixes all of those things at once. Now, occasionally you will run into an area that maybe is in dispute. Do we own it? Does county own it? So you might have to, work that out with county highway or the commissioners. But I don't know that that's the case with any of what you guys particularly have. So as soon as we get those identified, we can help you through that process.
Thank you.
And it's not a real expensive thing to do either. It's covered by our hourly agreement on CCMG. So we would just bill you for the hours that we have in that.
Okay. Even better. All right, thank you.
Right. I'm gonna excuse myself.
All right, fine, have a good night. All right, next on our agenda is we got some sewer rates we want to talk about.
Yeah, we always like to talk about sewer rates. I think we all know that with our new property tax law that we're all dealing with now, towns are getting less funds than we used to. And I think, Sandra helped me out, 5 years ago, we raised sewer rates. And before that, it was 14, 15 years ago. It's kind of absurd to wait that long. So I've sent you both some information that Sandra and Jennifer put together, all of our businesses and residential properties. And I'll make a motion that we increase the residential sewer rates $3 to $50, from 47 to 50. It's a 6.4% increase. And to also increase all the businesses involved here in town, the same percentage, 6.4%. That's my motion.
Okay. And, I'll second that motion.
Hey guys, where are we at in the process? Was this something that was introduced at the prior meeting?
No, they're just talking about the actual increase. No ordinance has been done.
Okay.
They're just.
Well, I guess sounded like Dave was making a motion to actually increase the rates.
Yeah, they're talking actual increase on residential, but we don't have an ordinance actually typed up yet saying, I was gonna get with you on that.
Okay.
He's just given the dollar figure to raise it from 47 to 50.
Yeah, I guess I don't see any need to, I don't know why we would do a motion approving that. I think we're required to have a public hearing
Mm.
and then approve the rate increase after the public hearing. And there's notices that have to go out about the public hearing, so I think you're just introducing the increase tonight, which I don't think requires any motion.
If that's what we gotta do, that's what we'll do.
I just don't want it to look like we just increase the sewer rates without the public hearing and following the process. So I don't think there's anything to vote on tonight. You're introducing essentially a proposed ordinance. I realize it's not written up yet, that'll increase rates by 3%. But I don't see.
Increase rates by 6.4%.
6.4%, sorry.
Any idea when you're implementing?
Well, now we'll have to, so we're just introducing it right now.
What kind of time frame do we need? My recommendation was gonna be May 1st, our billing in May.
I can put together a draft ordinance and we can publish notice of a public hearing. I would just recommend doing it at the March meeting, or right before the March meeting, prior to. And then you could approve the rates at the March meeting effective whenever you can get them in your program. Usually it takes a little while to get it uploaded to the software or however that works, but.
You'll need like a 30-day notification before the meeting.
Well, we have to publish, I know we have to publish notice of the meeting at least 10 days prior to, notice of the public hearing at least 10 days prior to the public hearing.
Just 10 days, okay.
But that's easy, I mean, we could get that notice, if you can get me it sounds like it's just across the board rate increase, I can get that put together quickly and sent to the newspaper and get the notice of the public hearing.
Alright.
That's easy.
Would it be beneficial to like put it on the next month's sewer bill, so everybody that's getting a sewer bill gets the notification?
It's not required, but certainly something that the town could do.
And I don't know if people get paid for anymore, that's why I was.
I know some towns put it on Facebook, and that's how they get notified.
Yes, that'd be the purpose
I
of
get
the
stuff
public
for it
hearing.
after it's been printed.
Right, I think he's saying, could you put notice of the public hearing on
That just seems like the smartest thing, 'cause everybody's gonna get a bill, so.
I do other
the,
things.
it can be logistically challenging to get notices put on index card bills, especially on. I'll leave that to someone.
Looks like that's how here's that deal about it.
And again, I think that's trying to be sensitive to the amount of rate increase versus, I guess, at least one other utility here locally that increased last fall.
So rates will increase, but just, we gotta get a timing on it and, narrow down some things with the guidance of our town attorney, so.
You guys have introduced an across the board 6.5% increase in sewer rates. We will get notice of the public hearing with those new rates published, and we will have that public hearing at 6 o'clock before we convene the March meeting of the town council, if that's all right with you guys.
Sounds fine.
It will be on
March 3rd.
March 3rd.
Another third.
I think we all know maintenance costs have increased, will increase. Some sewer line work we did, on Mechanic Street a year and a half ago, now, is that long ago?
Yeah,
$120,000, so.
stuff we're doing now. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Well, wait on that, so now we'll open it up to the public. So.
here a lot.
Just, okay, all right.
Oh, I guess I do have, maybe for your signage,
Mhm.
do you know who Logan Poindexter is? He's
I've
got-
heard of his name.
He's got the metal shop, you know, where isn't it like Austin Memorial Arts is now that little, farm implement place?
Right.
So the big brown building, I think it used to be an alternative school
Yeah.
there.
Just west of.
Yeah, just west of there, he's,
Used to be Rollison's Motorcycles.
yeah, he can,
Oh, was he in there?
no, he's in the next building past the old motorcycle shop. It's a
Okay,
bit-
I know which one it is. I know what you're
Yeah,
talking.
yeah.
I know you're
But he
talking.
does, metalworking, he's really good. You might get him to quote on any of that or ask him about it.
I had a
can give
quote
you his-
from a guy over at Lions, but I'd like another one too.
Yeah, yeah, I can give you his phone number. and his
Okay, if you
name.
would, I'd appreciate it.
Sure,
Alright, thanks for coming. You here visiting or?
Well, I never did hear anything on that tree down there on B Street, so I thought I'd step in and see if y'all had talked about it.
I
I don't know,
don't know.
you might know, but I
This
just.
is the tree on B Street, this is in his house, we, I don't know if we've ever really went over anything else or.
No, I know, I went down there.
I went down there.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that was in, the utility tree, line, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, the lines above it.
Yeah.
That's the issue, but the tree itself is actually not on my property. It's actually in the town right away there.
Okay.
And so, I'm not asking to get the whole tree taken down, I just wanna get that part taken down before it falls on the house, try to save the house.
Have you or anyone spoken to?
Sure.
I would
I
think
talked
that'd
to
be.
Duke several times. They came out, cut about 10 feet each side of the line. I went down and talked to the insurance company, seeing if they would do something before it damaged the house. And they said, if it's not on your property, you need to get ahold of them, and, cause it's their responsibility. And I'm like, look.
Is it in an alley or what's?
No, it's, the street's half as wide as the road right away. It actually sets off my property, it's not on my property.
So
But
it's
the
in,
branches,
it's in the road right of way is what you're saying?
Yeah,
but the branches, I think the tree limbs it's not, the tree itself's not on your property, but the tree limbs, I think.
we're hanging over the house, and the house across the street
Yeah,
too.
I remember.
But, yeah, I mean, I've tried for years for them to, all I asked them to do, years ago, they used to do it, take it down below the power line, so I don't have to worry about it, I'll take the rest of it down.
Yeah.
But
Now they just gotta,
now they cut a stripe out of it, and it's a maple tree, it weakens it, and that last one, that limb fell out and tore their power line down, they come out, trimmed everything up, and I've got this big old limb just hanging right over the house. And I'm just waiting for that trunk to go. So I ain't got anything tall enough to get up there without getting expensive, and I just like to, I didn't know if you guys had something that could get up there and knock the top of it out, and
I don't have a bucket truck any longer.
that's what he was saying, probably, so. That's all I was looking for, was trying to get something, 'cause I know you guys come out there and all that limb away and stuff, when it cut down, that's not a problem, I was kinda hoping maybe you guys had some, maybe I go to the fire department and use the ladder truck.
I don't know what a good answer is for that, it's really, the property, I think it's really the property owner's responsibility to do it, but you're asking for assistance in getting it done.
Well, I understand what you're saying there. Any place you're at, if the tree's hanging over on your property, you've got the right to do whatever. If I go there and cut that side off, the other side's gonna fall on the house across the street, and I'm just positive it will. So, and for me to rent a boom lift, you're talking $500-600 a day. And I'm just trying to do the cheapest stupid thing to try to save it, is the only thing I was looking at.
What do you think, Sam?
I'd have to look into it a little bit. Is Jeff Ellington still living in Bloomfield? He still has his tree service.
Oh, yeah.
Is town done,
See about
Is
maybe
town ever
investment,
asked
see-
him about helping out with anything, so.
He's done a couple trees at the park, and to my knowledge, that is the only work he's done for the town. And if I remember correctly, he donated that.
He did.
That's what I was wondering.
He did.
He's running for election.
But that was,
Yeah, that might work.
that was donated because of the park also.
The only thing was is when, of course, it wasn't Duke, it was who they hire. I don't know who it was.
Townsend this year.
Hell, no, it wasn't Townsend, I don't believe.
So that,
But,
that's what I was saying, this year, Townsend.
oh, okay. But, I mean, I let him do his job to see what he was gonna do. And I went and asked him, I said, dude, I says, if you could take 10 minutes and knock those 3 limbs off and drop them off the house, that's all you gotta do. You can't do it. You have to talk to Duke. I was told Duke come out there about a week later and they looked around at it and I never did hear a word from him again. I mean, I don't know. The one time they told me, they said, hey, it says, we don't do that anymore. We can come out and take the lines down while you take the limbs down.
What's that address again?
248 B Street,
248?
West B Street. And they said they could take the lines down. That line, it's a corner right there. It takes down 4 blocks. Now, it was a Sunday afternoon when that line fell and it took everything out. I think you guys even come down there to look at the pump house because it quit running. So,
Had an alarm go off because power failure.
yeah. So, anyway, I'm just,
Well, we'll jump back on board on that and look at it and.
I would appreciate
Fall
it.
through the cracks, so, sorry.
just let me know and it's, I mean, obviously this kind of weather, I'm not messing with it either.
It's definitely a concern out there, but I don't know what the right answer is, I haven't looked at it. You saw that, and with the lines being right in the middle, I don't quite understand why.
Well, I know that side that hangs over the road, the garbage truck has hit that a couple of times. And so I'm not exactly sure anymore if the fire truck can even get around there.
If it's in the town right away, the town clearly has the right to go address it if it wants to. Whether or not we have any obligation to, I don't know, I suspect not. But, we could also certainly try to work something out with the landowner, offer to split the cost of removing it or something.
That's why I was kind of maybe gearing toward.
Who is the landowner? I'm the landowner, so.
I thought you said the tree was on your neighbor's property.
Well, the one across the road. Where it sits right next to the road, that one side hangs over my house and the other side hangs over the house on the other side of the road.
Okay.
It's been there a while. It was a big tree when I moved in 40 years ago.
Okay, well,
It might be an option to split the cost 3 ways if it's one of the 2 houses, make it cheaper for everybody too.
Want to say that again?
If you split it 3 ways, if your neighbors are willing to pitch in with it,
Oh, yeah, I never thought
then
about
it
that.
reduces cost all the way around for everybody.
I never even thought about it, talking to them about that.
yeah, talk to them and you've got my number still, we can.
I can insert something, if Jeff not willing to do it for free, he's at premium price. Bloomfield Tree Service, took down a tree right between my house and my garage, did a great job and much better price, so if you do end up having to go, get somebody to do it, you might get a quote from them.
Bloomfield Tree Service?
Yeah.
Who is that?
I can't tell the gentleman's name, but
I think that it's Bixler, something.
Clay.
Clay Bixler. I've had work done with them before. I had a storm and there was a big limb over my house. He came out the next day and took care of it before it fell on my roof.
You did a good job?
Yeah, he did. So,
Well, I know, they told me that, the guys there for Duke, they said, how can I get this taken care of? And he says, well, if they've got a boom truck and stuff, he says, it's probably gonna be about $2,500. And I'm like, oh, Lord.
this guy, they have boom truck, they can get in there with the boom truck.
And that's, I mean,
I felt like it was pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I did, I think it was 15, it was 80-foot tall tree, big tree, I mean, huge tree.
yeah, I think we're about
And it was, last summer, 15 maybe, to take it down. Something like that, I don't even have the number.
Well, you guys can talk about that, but we can, look at it and we'll, yeah, just get with me on stuff and then we'll kinda address things and see where we'll go from there, but, so, I think we'll go ahead and, I'm ready to adjourn if you guys.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. President, I think it might be appropriate for us to mention, the passing of Odell Wright. He's one of the board members, I think he was with the housing authority for the town. I think that was titled. I didn't know him real well, but I spent a day with him. We went up to the pool whenever we had some issues up there, and he gave us some wise counsel, and, I just thought it'd be appropriate to, mention his passing and that, he was well thought of. I think he's well thought of here in town as well as on this board. He's a valued member, and, we'll miss him.
Do you have to replace him too?
Did it right around his granite table. And
What's
Is he
the
still, is
engineering?
he still the building inspector or what?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah,
He was.
so we wanna recognize Odell Wright for his services for the town of Bloomfield tonight, so, condolences to his family, and I'm sure he's got grandchildren and probably tons of great-grandchildren, I don't know, but,
He's got
I know
both,
some
I
of the
can tell you,
family, so-
he does have both.
I know some of the family are good people.
I know his wife well, and I'll let her know that you
Okay,
make mention to it.
should have a moment of silence for him, but I forgot about that, but things get away, so.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I second that.
All right, Dave made a motion to adjourn, Dave, John seconded it, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Now, can I
Adjourning
continue?
passed, so, okay.